Yesterday, Sea of Thieves announced the release date for the second instalment in the Monkey Island Tall Tales. Next week, on the 31st of August, the quest for Guybrush will become available for all players. Also, earlier today, Sea of Thieves had a small segment at Gamescom where Mike Chapman revealed several new things, including a sneak peek of the introduction of insult sword fighting to Sea of Thieves, and even the addition of the much anticipated zip lines. Hello pirates, my name is Ellie and I post regular Sea of Thieves videos on this channel. If you want to stay up to date with the game, then remember to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I put up a new video. So when Sea of Thieves announced the next instalment in the Monkey Island Tall Tales, a lot of people were asking how long the Tall Tale was going to be. It turns out that this is going to be the biggest Tall Tale that Sea of Thieves have ever done. Mike Chapman confirmed on X, right after the announcement of the Tall Tale, that he, obviously, is fully clued in and knows exactly where to go and what to do, and this Tall Tale still takes him about 2 hours to complete. He went on to say that he expects the average crew to take around 3 to 4 hours for a completion. So let me know down in the comments, how do you feel about that? That certainly does sound like the most in-depth Tall Tale they've ever done. During the Gamescom segment, Mike Chapman discussed the game and what they've added so far this year by mentioning the Season 8 and Season 9 features. He also talked about the first Monkey Island Tall Tale and about the puzzle solving and how it was designed as an introduction to this style of storytelling for Sea of Thieves. He then went on to talk about the quest for Guybrush, the next instalment, and how we will now be able to explore the entire of Melee Island, visiting places like the Dark Forest of Melee, the Fettuccine Brothers' circus tent, Stan's shipyard, and of course, Hook Island. During the video, insult sword fighting was then revealed, and Mike Chapman confirmed that much like the original games, you will have to build up the insults you have access to on your journey towards challenging the Sword Master. For those of you who perhaps aren't familiar with insult sword fighting from the original games, essentially you have to select different insults that need to rhyme with what your opponent says. They also need to make sense. You'll find that different opponents have different sets of insults, and you learn them by the opponents insulting you. After you've been insulted by that particular phrase, you then have access to use it in future fights. Or at least, that's how it worked in the original games, and it seems like they have kept it pretty close to that for Sea of Thieves. During the video, we also get to see what looks like a very pretty Guybrush Threepwood sword, and it got me wondering whether that was one of the rewards for this Tall Tale. I certainly hope so. Mike Chapman says that the Tall Tale will focus on the 3 legendary trials. Perhaps there will be a reward for each trial. The sword fighting reward could very well be this sword. The other 2 trials are thievery and treasure hunting. I wonder what we'll be tasked with for those trials. I can't wait to find out. The highly anticipated zip lines were also discussed, and due to the size of Melee Island, we will be given access to these zip lines to speed up the process of travelling between locations. After we purchase the rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle from the shop in town, we will be able to traverse the island using these zip lines. And for those of you who are wondering, Mike Chapman did confirm on X that these new mechanics and features will not be coming to the adventure mode of the game during this update, but that new mechanics from the Tall Tales will be added to adventure mode in a future update. My guess would be on the conclusion of the Tall Tale series, so perhaps alongside the Season 10 release? Speaking of Season 10, Mike Chapman did also go on to talk about the future of Sea of Thieves beyond the Monkey Island Tall Tales, and he revealed something quite exciting. We already knew that Season 10 was delayed, so that's nothing new, and we also already knew that Season 11's content was going to be released the month after the release of Season 10. However, it seems like potentially Season 12's content, or something significant content-wise, will also be released at the end of Season 10. Mike said it was going to be quite a special season because beyond the release of the initial content in Season 10, which he stated was a new social system for crews, so my bet is that this is the Guilds update they teased at the end of last year, they'll be adding new content every month. Now, given that a season is usually more than 2 months, it suggests that we'll be getting quite a few content drops during the course of Season 10 and taking us to the end of the year. Mike then also goes on to talk about the future even beyond that, and how next year they'll be shifting away from releasing updates that focus on system changes, and more on actual content. New tools and new experiences. It sounds like some new story, perhaps the return of adventures, and activities could be on the way for early next year in any releases beyond Season 10. The video at Gamescom also showed off some footage from the final Tall Tale location, Monkey Island. The final instalment of the Monkey Island Tall Tales will release next month, sometime in September, so before Season 10, and it will take us on a journey with Guybrush to the legendary Monkey Island. The footage they showed looks amazing, and not only will we get to explore the island by the looks of it, but we'll also get to venture below the island to LeChuck's lava-filled lair, where we will confront LeChuck in a final showdown, which I'm assuming will then leave the door open for the Sea of Thieves storyline and Flameheart's storyline to continue towards the end of the year. So that about covers it for any Gamescom or recent Sea of Thieves related news. It's not long to wait now until the next instalment of the new Monkey Island Tall Tales, and I cannot wait to get back to Melee Island and finally be able to explore the whole thing and try my hand at insult sword fighting. Let me know what you're most excited about down in the comments. If you liked the video, then please do leave a like and subscribe for more Sea of Thieves content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the seas!